Good evening, everyone. How you doing this evening? So, what is Zen? Any ideas? That's that's pretty much the basic understanding of it. Um, Especially in the Western context, but it's actually the practice that I do and I teach and that we're doing together. Um, it's a practice that aims to uncover the truth. So in Zen, we study Dharma, which is the natural truth or the truth inherent in nature. And we do this by learning the essential teachings of Buddha and trying to apply the lessons to our own lives. So, a lot of the things I teach as far as meditation um, and the philosophy is all based on his teachings. So, it's important to understand when we talk about the truth that nobody can tell you the absolute truth. Our understanding of the truth is always filtered through our perceptions. We can learn from other people, but this has its limitations. Our knowledge about our existence is constantly evolving and expanding. This makes it impossible to learn everything from somebody else. We have to keep learning if we want to understand the truth. Sometimes we encounter new things and we don't even have the words to describe it in our existing vocabulary. Our experiences can lead us to new discoveries which challenge our long held beliefs sometimes. So, due to this elusive nature of the truth, Zen doesn't rely on any specific scriptures or ancient scrolls or a grand book like the Bible as an ultimate authority. Instead, the tradition is traditionally passed down from student to teacher, or from teacher to student, excuse me. This is to assure that the lessons are always taught in the context of each moment. This is the way Buddha taught his students, and none of his words were ever written down until hundreds of years after his death. I'm the 80th teacher in this lineage, and it spans nearly 3,000 years, and it can be traced by teachers all the way back to Buddha. So Zen doesn't provide you with ready-made answers. Instead, Zen teachings utilize a combination of prompts, prods, tests, questions, and meditation to guide you on the path to finding the truth. To understand the truth, you must be able to see beyond your body and your perceptions. This requires that you see beyond yourself, your opinions, and your desire to be right. The first step is often acknowledging how little you actually know. For instance, where are you right now? On Earth, on Somerville. Okay, both correct answers. Come in. So I was just, we're talking about the truth and um, how Zen works and how it's trying to guide you on a path to find the truth. So we just said, I was trying to help them understand the limitations of our knowledge, and I asked everybody where are you right now? And so I heard Somerville and Earth, and both of those are correct. Where's Earth though? The universe. Where's the universe? Yeah. So with a simple series of questions like this, you can discover pretty quickly that you don't even really know where you are in the grand scheme of things. So that's how limited our knowledge is. In order to expand your knowledge, each time you learn something, you you have to understand how little you actually know. Even the smartest people in the world have much to learn. I just heard the other day that Elon Musk suffers from depression. He's the richest man alive, and some people think he's the smartest person, but he's still suffering in his life. If this is true, perhaps he still doesn't understand some of the fundamental things about the nature of his mind. And so even he has much to learn. Constantly seeking the truth will help you to understand your place in the world and in the universe. And this knowledge provides valuable insights that can guide you in making better decisions in your life. So as we prepare to meditate tonight, just plant that seed in your mind. Ask yourself, what is the truth and how can we find it? So I'm just going to go over some of the meditation stuff. As far as sitting, we're going to meditate now. You okay on the pad? So we're going to stand up and face the wall, and we'll do that in a second. You're going to have your legs crossed, right hand, left hand, touching your thumbs, centered in your lap. Try to keep your back and your neck straight. And if our eyes are going to be closed, but if they were open, they'd be at a 45-degree angle looking at the floor. So that's the sitting position. If you get uncomfortable, we'll meditate for like 20, 25 minutes, something like that. If you get uncomfortable, you feel free to stand up and stretch your legs out. Just try to be quiet and try not to disturb anyone next to you. So the way we meditate in Zen is we use a mantra, and mantra is a focal point for your mind. It's usually a word or a phrase that you repeat in your mind. If you try not to think, thoughts will inevitably come into your mind. So by focusing on a mantra, you can use it to push out all of the other thoughts. As you meditate, try to only concentrate on the mantra. If another thought comes into your mind, return to focusing on your mantra. So, just let it come, let it go, and go back to your mantra. A good mantra to use for meditation practice is Kwansem Bosal. So I suggest just repeating the word Kwansem Bosal over and over in your head. Kwansem Bosal is the name of the bodhisattva of love and compassion in Korean Zen. And she's often depicted with thousands of eyes and hands. And she's said to be able to see the suffering of everyone and help those who call out her name. So it's supposed to bring good energy to you while you're meditating. And with that, we'll turn around. So we were talking about the truth before we started meditating. What is the truth? Any thoughts on that? Now that your mind is clear? Well, I think in our society, we think of the truth in a lot of different ways. So I wanted to dig into that a little bit. First, let me emphasize that I believe that science and logic are useful tools for navigating life, but it's crucial to realize that they have limitations and not to mistake them for providing absolute truth. Science and logic are meant to be continually questioned and evolved. So our conclusions should always be open to reevaluation as new information emerges. That's what science basically teaches you, but some people think of it as absolute truth. But it should always be questioned. But I think it's reliable to a certain extent, as a way to base your life on with the best information you have. But science has one inherent limitation in that it only deals with the material world and measurable phenomena. So it relies on our knowledge of past events, and it can assist us in making projections about the future. Nevertheless, it's far from perfect. Our comprehension of the past is extremely limited, and our ability to predict the future using science is far from precise. Logic can also be a useful tool, but it also has limitations. Logical truth is only valid if the proposed conditions and assumptions are irrefutable to all questioning. In fact, after intense questioning and philosophical scrutiny, most of the things we assume to be true are not actually provable. So that leaves us with very little that we can actually consider being absolute truth. So if you consider something like as simple as flipping a coin, right? Most people will say it will land on heads or tails. I agree with that. That's still only at best 50% chance of predicting the future accurately. However, there's always other possibilities that we rarely consider. It could You could flip it and it lands leaning against the wall, so it's on its side, it's on its edge. Or you could flip it into the air, and at that moment, an asteroid could hit the planet and turn our entire world into dust, so it never lands. The point is that we can't prove anything about the future. We can only make inferences about what is likely to happen. Furthermore, upon closer examination, we can't even prove that any of these things and any of these contentions we're making about reality, that they aren't merely a product of our imagination. All rational and logical evaluations have to be made through the subjective lens of your mind. After rigorous philosophical questioning, the strongest claim we can make as a logical truth boils down to something as simple as I exist. Everything beyond that requires a conditional assumption that can't be proven in absolute terms. You can't actually prove that anything exists outside of your mind. So I understand this can be really confusing sometimes when you hear it for the first time, and it might seem to undermine reality, which is not my goal. So why do I bring it up? Where does this perception of our existence take place? It takes place in our mind. Zen practice helps you understand your mind, which in turn helps us understand the truth of nature. Observations of reality imply that all actions have reactions and there's cause and effect. Understanding the relationship between your mind and reality can help you navigate your life more effectively and help you to achieve the results that you want. So to begin to understand your mind, it helps to understand how your mind can affect reality. The process of learning and observing the cause and effects of your actions is a big part of becoming a master. So as you master a skill or a craft, you learn how to hone your abilities. As you learn how to focus your mind and you learn how to focus your mind and produce the results you desire more effectively. I've heard someone say it takes about 10,000 hours of dedicated practice to become a master of something. And from my experience, that seems to be pretty accurate. So becoming a master is a big accomplishment. However, it's really only the first step towards enlightenment. I know plenty of people who've mastered a skill or a craft, but very few I know that have attained enlightenment. Why is that? Mastery will help you build your confidence in yourself and your abilities, and it's often accompanied by recognition from your peers and material success. This success can often fuel overconfidence and inflate your ego. It can also lead to a level of comfort that will cause you to stop pushing yourself. So if you view your success is a complete validation of all of your efforts, you might stop seeking the truth outside of your realm of expertise or knowledge. You might also start to think you're smarter than you are and think that you know everything. Your desire to be recognized as right about everything can often supersede your desire to learn. This is a trap I've seen many people fall into, and it stunts their personal growth. It also inevitably results in suffering, so it's not good for them either. Everyone wants to be free from suffering, right? But what does this mean? Our Western culture seems to imply that the recipe for happiness lies in material success and recognition from others for your efforts. But I can assure you this isn't true. It's a fool's errand. It's a dead-end road that many people insist upon going down. The validation that you seek, it doesn't come from any external source. If you attain fame and fortune, yet you're still suffering, you'll never truly believe in yourself, no matter what anyone else tells you. To attain enlightenment, you have to believe in yourself 100%. There can't be any sliver of doubt. So mastery can help you to understand the rules of the world, but if you want to understand the rules of the universe, you always have to keep learning. The universe is always evolving, and you have to acknowledge that its impermanence. To keep going, it's essential that you put down your ego and your opinion and desires. When you understand the rules of nature, you can adapt your actions accordingly and find harmony within yourself. This is what Zen teaches us. This is what getting enlightenment is all about. So everybody wants freedom from suffering. But what does it mean to be free? Does it mean you can do whatever you want? Try putting sand in the gas tank of your car and see how far you get doing whatever you want. I'll warn you, it's not going to work. You won't get very far. If you truly want to be free, you have to learn the rules of the universe and follow them. If you understand life and the universe, you understand that many things are outside of our control. On a universal level, many things are already set in motion that we can predict. The planet spinning causes days. The orbit of the planet around the sun makes the seasons, and the orbit of the moon around the earth makes the tides. Beyond the scope of our solar system, it becomes much harder to predict, but we could likely make similar predictions about what's happening out there if we had more information. In our life, we can predict certain things as well. According to what we know, if you're alive, someday you're going to die. So, what are the ramifications of all this knowledge? Is everything predictable if given enough information? Is everything predetermined? Or is there such a thing as free will? Think of it like this. All of the things we perceive and learn in our lives build our knowledge of the world and the universe. This is like listening to the song that the universe plays. The more you understand and listen to the structure of the song, the more you get a feeling for the probability of what comes next. It's like knowing what scale the song is in. You intuitively expect the next note will likely be part of that scale. You can't dictate the structure of the song, but you can listen to it and get a feel for when the scales change. Every action you take is like playing a note, and it becomes part of that song. Your free will is your ability to improvise and play a note at any time, or stay silent. Your life becomes a melody that adds to the depths of the music of the universe. If you aren't in tune with what's going on around you, you'll experience dissonance, and things will seem chaotic or even frightening. But if you can understand and feel the rhythm of the universe, then you can time your notes to play in tune with the universe and play in harmony. When you're in harmony with the universe, the beauty of your actions becomes amplified throughout the world and within your mind. This is why I urge you to meditate and clear your mind. It will allow you to hear the music of the universe with more clarity. My hope is that you will all find the ability to create beautiful melodies in your life and find harmony with the universe. So I wish you luck on this journey. We have a few minutes left. Any questions? Any comments? You fell asleep? I don't know. I guess you wake up more rested, hopefully. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, you're sleeping. That's what happens. Any more? I don't know what the broader implications are. That's why I always try and say to try and keep your back straight and your neck straight, because if you have like a rigid posture, it's harder to fall asleep. So if you feel yourself starting to like slouch, getting too comfortable, that's a sign that you should adjust your posture. Yeah, my teacher used to say that his teacher would have a stick, and they would come around and if you started to slouch, they'd give you like a whack on the back with it. So, I think if you have meditated enough, you'll eventually reach a day where you're too tired to stay awake. So, but yeah, if you go into your sleep when you're meditating, you can turn your meditation or your sleep into meditation as well. So, yeah, I think I said this last time, but my teacher Sabunim, he used to tell me, yeah, if you meditate before you go to bed, then your sleep becomes meditation. He's like, and then he said, I tell my body that 1 minute of sleep equals 2 minutes of sleep, so I only need half as much sleep as normal people. And he really only would sleep like 4 hours a day, so from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. every day. So yeah, I don't know, I never got so good at it, but I have found like the more I meditate, the less I need to sleep. So, any more questions? Any thoughts on the truth? Any questions about like, is this stuff that you were familiar with hearing before, or is that like sometimes it's strange to think of things that way, but yeah. Yeah, it's really easy to fall in that rut. So I think it's important to always reevaluate that, and also like clear your mind. A lot of stuff that we do as a society is great, but a lot of it's not good either. So you have to be able to figure out for yourself what is important, what are the important things. Yeah, and I'm not trying to, with any of my commentary, I'm not trying to undermine what science says. Just bringing to your attention, it's valuable, but it needs to always be evolving and growing and adapting to whatever new information comes in. So yeah, and I find a lot of people are more concerned about being right than finding the truth. I think that's something I encounter a lot in everyday life. Actually, I posted something on social media, and it was a quote. I read it. I read a quote, and I'd never heard it before, but I liked it, so I Googled who said it, and the quote was, what was it? Sometimes it's more important to be kind than right, and it was attributed to F. Scott Fitzgerald, and um, so I posted it, and like right before we started, I had a comment back from somebody that I didn't know who decided to chime in, and they said, "Oh, that's a meme. It's not from F. Scott Fitzgerald," and he was a racist, just so you know. Which I don't know if this is true, but I was kind of like, "Oh, he totally missed the point of the quote." He was very concerned about being right. But yeah, that's just a funny anecdote. I don't know, but it kind of relates to what we talked about today. Well, any more questions? Anything else from any other times I've talked? You've had a long time to think about last class. Anything sticking out in your? Okay, that helps. Okay, I'll add that back in. I didn't do it this time. You do? Nice. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Do you remember what that technique where I was telling you just to relax your breathing, breathe a little slower, a little deeper than you normally do, and then try and bring your breath and all of your energy from your head and your brain and bring it into your chest, and just take a few moments to breathe like that. And it's a good way to kind of get yourself ready to meditate. Sometimes it can help you to sleep, or if you need to calm down before you go into something that's getting your nerves up. It's something you can do while other people are around. Even you can just breathe a little deeper and a little more relaxed and a little slower, and try to pull the energy from your head and brain into your chest and into your heart. And that's a way I find it does help align like your brain and your mind and your heart. But I also find that very effective. That's so I'll start adding that in before the meditation again, just a little bit. I do feel like you did it. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it does exactly physiologically, but it really seems to help me. So, all right. Last chance for a question. Johnny, you're new. Any questions? No. Okay. Well, it's after 8 a little bit already, so thank you very much. Good luck till next month. Keep looking for the truth.